The following podcast does contain mature language and, more importantly, has spoilers for both the MSQ of Final Fantasy XIV as well as the Hildibrand questline. You have been warned. Enjoy the show. From the many realms of Atheris to the distant reaches of the 13th via the magic of podcasting, this is episode 24 of A Podcast Reborn, the show celebrating our journey in the past, present, and possible future of Final Fantasy XIV. This episode is being recorded on Sunday, October 23rd of 2022. My name is Brian Black, otherwise known as Ro, and with me is a Chaos Gremlin who is up to date on her Manderville quests and contemplating why the Criterion Dungeon's initials are ASS. Hi, Meagan.
Hi. I have seen I retweeted a video of like the great Final Fantasy misunderstanding of like, oh, so you want to try ass?
Ever since the live leather, when they announced that, people have just been like, oh, no, really? Another Sildren subterrane? Do you not see it?
Like, please run this by an English, like a native English speaker, please.
They have one.
Did Koji do that? I mean, come on, Koji.
Maybe he did, man. He's like, actually, you know what? This one's for me.
It wouldn't surprise me if he made that sure that happened on purpose.
Lord.
And of course, as you hear with her, as always, is an old man who is ready to send a search party in the Dreamlight Valley to find his lost wife. Hi, Brandon.
It's true. It's true. I have no idea what's going on in that game, but apparently she's enjoying herself. So how can I get mad? But in other news, you know, I know we're going to talk about this a lot during the show. We're going to talk some, at least, about the Omicron dailies. But something I've noticed is that while I've been doing them, people have been inordinately, pleasant. And I don't know why. It seems that just people, whenever they're playing Disciple of the Land jobs, are just really, really nice. So I asked somebody about that, and they said, oh, it's because we drink a lot of cordials.
I understood that reference. Just because I wanted to dress up Emiliance. That's the only reason I ever leveled.
What did you put her in?
Well, right. What do I have her in right now? I think I still have her in the Thavnarian outfit, because it's my Thavnarian character. Oh, wait, no. Wait, that's right. The summer outfit. I put her in the bikini.
So Emiliance has no pants.
Yeah. Emiliance needs no pants.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, last episode was called the Hildi-bonanza Part 1. As you heard, Meagan has completed the Hildibrand quest, and I'm up to date with Hildibrand, including getting my relic weapons. So welcome to the Hildi-bonanza Part 2.
Oh, my God.
Meagan, so I'd ask you what you've been doing the past couple weeks, but it sounds like it's been a lot of Manderville questing.
It's been, okay, so this week has been interesting for me because I was finishing up the Manderville quest line, but at the same time, I was finishing a final season of Attack on Titan.
Oh,
so I was going back and forth between Manderville and Attack on Titan. So that was some total whiplash.
I can see that. Attack on Titan's a pretty grim anime.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's almost like a meme at this point of like, this is the suffering show. This is the show in which the characters make bad decisions and suffer, or decisions they think are good, but then later they discover they were bad. Oh, yeah. I would recommend Attack on Titan. I think it is a good show. I think that it's gotten kind of problematic in its final seasons, but I know that you guys don't want this to turn into a huge anime rant, so I should probably save that. Also, I don't know if you guys have even seen all of Attack on Titan.
I have only seen a couple episodes.
Not a single one, and I'm keeping it that way.
Just watch like the first 3 episodes, and you'll see what this is about.
I've seen enough clips of it to know that it's giant naked people walking around and biting people's heads off. I'm basically out,
dude. But they get to like fight them with like Super Spider-Man gear.
All right, I'll find clips of that, watch that, and then be like, and I'm good.
The whole point of Attack on Titan is that you get like really invested in the characters and the story, and the giant, scary, naked people are like a really terrifying, legitimate threat to them.
You just said it is suffering the show, and I'm not here for it.
Okay, but like it gets to the point where like it's so oversaturated that you're just kind of like, when it happens, you're like, oh, of course.
Yeah, I don't know if I personally, this just being me, I can get myself to that point. There comes a point where it's like, okay, for my own mental health, I got to stop watching this.
Well, then maybe Attack on Titan wouldn't be a good show for you.
Yeah.
But Chainsaw Man's real good. I highly recommend that one. We're about to have episode 3. Look, I am avoiding it as hard as I can, all right? Shit. Look. Why is the animation, whenever he's wiggling his butt out of the ground, so fluid?
It's strange, isn't it?
It's like the best animation in the entire game. And it's Hildibrand like wiggling his legs and then wiggling his butt. Like when he was wiggling his butt at that freaking Insane Eater, I was like, oh my god.
The quest line in general has some of the best animated cutscenes in the entire game, which is hilarious.
Yeah. Ward said that was the point of it, that he heard it at a dev, or he saw an interview or something of a dev talking about, like, they made the Hildibrand quest line to just see how far they could push the in-game animations. And I believe it. Also, Hildibrand is like a masochist, or he truly wishes for death. Because every time he's about to get smacked, he goes from like, no, to like, So,
he has that weird, kinky smile on his face. It's like, I'm about to die.
So maybe Poo Poo is doing them a favor. Oh, that will make no sense if you haven't played the last fucking quest.
Fortunately, if you've played Final Fantasy VIII, Poo Poo refers to, the same Poo Poo you encounter in Final Fantasy VIII, which is a little blue alien thing.
I did play Final Fantasy VIII, and I recognized the little spaceship. I was like, it's Poo Poo! And then he came popping out. I was like, oh my god, he's so cute in this game! Poo 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 Poo! Yeah, I love him, but at the same time, I do not fucking trust him in this iteration because he has no respect for the sanctity of life. He's creating and vaporizing clones like it's nothing. And I'm like, I don't care how fucking adorable you are, you little droplet creature. What the fuck?
Imagine Poo Poo and Gigi getting together.
Oh god. Oh no. Oh god. Well, I'm like, who's Poo Poo's friend? I did find the fucking Fox Mulder reporter guy to be very funny, of like going around the moon being like, they're aliens, they want to invade us. I'm like, yeah. Well, it also reminded me of a lot of the theories, the fan theories that were floating around when we heard we were going to the moon, and we knew that, like, you know, this was the Endwalker, the big scary expansion.
Mm-hmm. Remember when everyone thought that the moon was the final zone of Endwalker?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Like, nope, end of the universe.
And then they get to the moon and they realize, oh man, things are getting real. Wait, what? Why am I level 83? What? Why am I fighting Zodiac right now? What's going on?
I still remember that. I was like, what the fuck happens next? Where do we go from here?
And you know what? Yoshi had warned about that moment, said that they were going to do something at level 83 that would just blow our minds, and I completely forgot about that until after the fact, and when that moment hit, I'm like, still, I would honestly say, in all the times that I have played any story, any game that had a legit story in it, so MMO, single-player RPG, whatnot, fighting Zodiac at level 83 is probably up in the top 3 most surprising things I've seen in an RPG.
Well, I think fighting wasn't surprising. It was the fact that he died. It's the fact that they killed himself, or Van Daniel killed it and himself. And like that was what, because like I've seen a lot of like, oh, you may have defeated me, but I will be back. Bosses that you fight in the middle. So I wasn't that shocked that we were fighting it, but then when he fucking died, I was like, what? And then we like go outside and the darkness is like streaming into the sky and the fucking watchers
that vision in red and oh shit.
The fucking watcher just like, shit, bro, I don't know. This sucks.
And it's so obvious in hindsight because how many times did they talk about the final days in the ancient world and how Zodiac was created to forestall it? Yep. Of course, if Van Daniel was going to bring that back, we need to have Zodiac be dead. Mm-hmm. How did none of us see this coming?
Because
I still kick myself about it.
Because Zodiac, I think it's because since the lore had Hydaelyn and Zodiac pitted against each other so much, and we associate Hydaelyn with being the good guys because Hydaelyn, is the whole reason why we got, the powers we got and the questing and all that stuff. So you just kind of have this mentality that, well, if Hydaelyn's the big good, then Zodiac is obviously the big bad. And you kind of forget about those little details that like, oh yeah, Zodiac stopped the final days from happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. It's like, because Zodiac bad, beat up Zodiac at end of game. Mm. But no, it's a very smart writing. They're using the tropes against us, which is a mark of, I think, like, I don't know, fucking 4D chess when it comes to writing a video game. Mm-hmm. Which,
And my point is the fact that no one really predicted that this was going to be how it came out. And they hid it in plain sight and no one saw it. It's just utterly brilliant. Yes. I loved that. I kicked myself so much once I realized, oh, fuck, we just really fucked things up. And no one thought about this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was good. It was very good.
And for all the people that are like, well, what's left to do on the moon? Well, the Hildibrand quest was what's left to do on the moon. Don't worry, we'll go back to the moon. And then, okay. Even though they tease the scene in the trailer for the patch, that scene where the Loporrits go up on stage, oh my god.
Do a little dance. Oh my god.
And that all came after freaking Hildibrand and I think a clone got pinballed around a bunch of the small rocks rotating around the moon and landed inside that statue's nostril.
Yes.
I'm just like, okay, why not?
Oh my god. Should we just like go through the Hildibrand quests like I don't know, the arcs, I guess, and like talk about our thoughts on them? Because,
sure.
Jesus,
so we did A Realm Reborn on the last one, so I guess
although I would say I hadn't finished it. So I didn't know about all the Sildee stuff.
Oh, true.
Yet. Like I hadn't seen Hildibrand get zombie powdered in the face, and I hadn't seen the other sister, and I had it like it was kind of funny because I did these quests, and I had never, I guess I never delved deeply into the rest of like old lore because I didn't even know about Sildee, and then like right after I'm like hang out with Nanimo, and she's like, oh, it's the Sildeen ruins. I'm like, I just learned about this in the fucking Hildibrand quest. So, yeah, that was cool, and I like the idea of the zombie powder and all that stuff. Which,
Meagan, I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
What was your reaction to the, I can't remember her name, but the fact that the purple-haired reporter who had basically been one of our two straight men dealing with this whole nonsense with us, what was your reaction to the fact that she was basically one half of the villains of the entire arc?
I liked it. It made sense, and it was very funny. And I don't know. Well, the thing is that she was like there reacting with us, like it was her sister who was doing all the Phantom Thief stuff because like she had to have the alibi.
Yeah, exactly. But ultimately, in the end, the two of them were working together to do something kind of awful.
Yeah, they were gonna fucking zombie powder bomb the entirety of Ul'dah, which would have been very serious. But the fact that it's the Hildibrand quest kind of undercuts it. And then I go into the fucking Still D ruins with Nanamo, and she's like, "Oh, this poor champion still thinks that he's fighting the zombie war. The heavy weighs the burden of my ancestors this day." And I'm like, "Oh my god, Nanamo." I know a zombie lord that maybe could help you out with this problem. I know a group of gentle dead men.
So the Heavensward arc was the Gigi arc.
Gigi,
Gigi, however you want to call it.
Vivi. Well, I think it's because it's supposed to sound like Vivi, which is the...
True.
Wait, what are they from?
Vivi is from Final Fantasy 9.
9, yeah. That's right. I was like, it's not 10, it's not 8, must be 9. But 9's the one I didn't play. I guess not enough pretty boys in it, or pretty girls. But Vivi Gigi was very, very cute, and I fucking loved the old people humor. Oh my god. The when he jumps into the sky and like sees his dead wife, when he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you," and like does his like Dragoon ultra jump, and then like you think he fucking died in the middle of the sky. I was like, wow, this is dark. Like everybody is like standing around joking about over his like corpse with his legs sticking out of the ground, and then he's like not dead. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I think the best scene from that arc for me was when Godbert uses his hammer to make Gigi a real Manderville man, and ends up getting this big ass body.
He turns him into a Roganin, basically.
Yeah.
He fucking clotheslines Hildibrand as his like affection. Oh god.
But then on top of that, all at the end, then Godbert's wife gets pissed. And the red eyes and the big ass frying pan and the big Dark Knight energy from this lady wielding the biggest frying pan you've ever seen. I mean, I know there are people that joked and said, Brandon, was it you that joked and said you wish that the Manderville relic weapon would be a frying pan?
That was me, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever came out and said it because at the time I made the joke, neither of you had done the Hildibrand quests.
Right.
And I didn't want to spoil that because it is legitimately one of the best moments anytime Julian Manderville shows up.
Yeah.
But I was the one making that joke.
Oh my gosh. And I mean, I'm kind of bouncing back and forth here. But the whole joke about Julian looking older later on. I didn't see any change myself if that was the joke that was meant to happen there, but
it's supposed to be like, oh, Vivi turned them young, they should turn me young too, and it's like, ma'am, you look very young.
You look old enough to be your husband's daughter, okay?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of why Hildibrand may have kept making the joke about her quote unquote advanced age, because he doesn't want to imagine his own mother being essentially identifiable as his sister.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, good Lord, when you look at Godbert and Julian next to each other, you're like, call the police.
Ma'am, do you need an adult?
Officer, this man right here. Yes, the one without pants.
Even when he's dressed, he still has shorts on.
Oh my god, his little bicycle shorts under his fancy dress shirt is amazing. It's like, yes, this is his fully dressed, this is his fancy outfit. little bike shorts. They don't even reach his knees, halfway down the thighs.
As you discovered in the Heavensward arc, there was yet another massage scene.
Oh god.
Yep. Of course. I'm glad that I think that was the end of the HR violations. So that was nice. I think that was the last one. Oh god. And then Jesus, that like gave him the power to like, I can't remember, just take a bunch of abuse from the de-aged elders, which was extremely funny. Of like, oh yeah, we have a second chance at youth, and we're just gonna go kill Hrespogar. It's like, what? Like, yeah, it's on war. Let's just start that over again. We didn't do it right the first time. It's like, oh god.
It was a little weird doing that. So, like, even though I did those quests, like, not that long ago when you consider the history of the game, still, considering there's been an amount of time since I've done Heavensward crap, they're like, oh, we're going to kill Hrespogar. I'm just like, he's still around?
Yes, that's the good dragon. That's the nice dragon. That's the dragon with the Falco face. That's the fluffy dragon. But they're like our dragon ally. They're the one that like we convinced to help us talk to the dragons and end the whole enmity and everything. So that was like, at first I was like, oh, I feel kind of bad for these old people. Like, they spent their whole lives in war. Maybe they want a second chance at their youth. And then they're like, we would like more war. And I'm like, fuck these guys.
Yep.
They're Ishgardian nobility. What the hell did you expect?
True.
They're the old school.
Good lord.
Not you, Count Edmund. We love you.
It was nice to see Count Edmund again.
It's always nice to see Count Edmund.
Mm-hmm. And then he was the one who was like, oh, you should adopt the young lad.
Well, he knows all about the joys of adoption. He's already adopted Amaric and us.
Mm-hmm.
Any other Heavensward Hildibrand stuff anyone wants to bring up?
I will just say of the 4 Hildibrand arcs we have, the Heavensward one is by far my least favorite.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
See, for me, I think it's the most favorite.
I don't know what it was, but every time I've played through it again, I'm just like, can I just get through this nonsense, please?
I think that it was legitimately the funniest out of all of them. And I loved VVGG, and I still like seeing the little crest that he painted on the house.
That is
now
super
just
cute.
There forever.
Yeah, there was a lot of good moments there, and as stupid as it was, Gigi being the sun and everything like that. It was sweet in a sentimental way. It was kind of goofy, and the drawing and stuff was I don't know. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was funny. I just found the old people to be so fucking funny. Like when they do the dramatic smoke bomb and then you just see them like shuffling away with the white mage like trying to heal the dragoon's back.
Yeah.
That was so fucking funny. Oh my god. And the fact that we just let them go, we're like, oh, they're gone. That's like at that point, I feel like my warrior of light was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'm just long for this nonsense. We're just gonna play it like this. That's fine." And then by the end, my warrior of light is like, "Yep, it's Manderville time."
Oh boy.
The funny thing is, the comment that you have about the Heavensward arc, Brandon, is pretty much the same thing I have to say about the Stormblood arc, in that, for the most part, until it got to the end was really good. Like, really, really good. But much like Stormblood, the expansion itself to me, it just, the beginning and the middle seemed to kind of drag for me. And I mean, there were a couple of decent, funny, crazy moments, but it was the part of the whole journey that I felt dragged the most to get through.
What, you didn't like fighting feudal Japan Waluigi?
Not really.
Oh my, okay, I'm a huge weeaboo, so I was gonna like the Stormblood stuff because it's all in Kugane, but that fucking potato oh my god, I don't even know his name, but I'm like, I hate you. You're so creepy.
Yeah, that guy needs to die.
Jesus Christ. And the fact that, like, you can find him in the background when you see Nashu, if you look around, sometimes you could just find him creeping on her. I'm like, I hate you. I hate you so much. How dare you?
And you're not done with him after Stormblood.
I know. Look, don't stalk people, kids. It's bad. Also, Nashu is legitimately too stupid to realize what's happening. So it's like, makes it double bad. I don't know. I enjoyed Stormblood, although it was a bit rambling. There were some funny moments, and I did like, the fucking lore building in the goddamn Hildibrand quest was something I was not expecting. Like, I did not know that seppuku was a legit lore thing in fucking Kugane.
Yes, it is.
Until the fucking Hildibrand quests. And, like, this dude's gonna goddamn murder himself. He's about to literally spill his guts, and then fucking Hildibrand's just doing a dance behind him. I'm like, whoa. Oh, awkward.
So I will say this. I am one of the minority who enjoyed Stormblood more than Heavensward.
Okay.
And I am, to use Meagan's description, not normally what someone would call a weeaboo. but for whatever reason, I found the overall story of Stormblood to be more enjoyable and relatable in a way that Heavensward was epic and cool, but I also enjoyed, like, the more, the less fantastical threat, so to speak, of just, hey, Stormblood, we got an opposing army and
of imperialism.
We got imperialism and a bad guy who is like a really fucking good swordsman and also has plot armor on his side. And I don't know, those kinds of stakes are things I really enjoy, but I can't explain to you why I enjoyed the Stormblood Hildibrand arc more than the Heavensward one. But I will say this: each Hildibrand arc has, like, certain people, or most of them it's one, but for, like, the ARR one, it was multiple folks who are basically like the straight man to the antics of what the hell kind of eldritch abomination is this family?
Yeah.
And I think it has something to do with, until the end, I absolutely hated that Inquisitor kid who comes along with us for the ride.
What, Shigure?
Huh?
Shigure? Or
no, whoever the Ishgardian kid was, who was like, "Oh, I smell heresy."
Oh, that kid! I totally forgot he existed because he's such a non-entity.
Yeah, and anytime he talked, right up until the very last chapter, I'm just like, "Can I shoot you, please?"
You're literally just like a parody of fucking Ishgardian society and their obsession with heretics.
Exactly, and I think part of the reason I didn't enjoy the Heavensward arc was because he wouldn't shut up and go away.
Oh, I like a good repressed Catholic boy.
I'm not touching that one. Anyway.
Let him cut, he cuts loose by the end. That's the important part.
Exactly, but it takes him so long to get there. I was just sick of him by the time it was over. Contrast with Shigure, is that his name? I can't remember. Yeah. He was at least relatable and not quite so annoying pretty much right off the bat.
Remember when he got sushi stuck to his head? That was the funniest scene in the entire arc, was the like dinner scene where, like, Nashu shows up as, like, a geiko, and then they invite her in and she just immediately starts horking down food. Like,
that was pretty great.
And then the, like, slow motion, like, everything explodes as they're all trying to get the sword, and Nashu's, like, catching the sushi. And Shigure, who they shaved his head.
Do you know? I need to make a confession here when it comes to the Stormblood arc.
What's that?
I was probably the densest person to follow the Stormblood arc of, like, anyone. Like, okay.
What do you need help?
I'm into the gold saucer, you know?
Oh boy.
fought Yojimbo, or not fought Yojimbo, but I've dodged Yojimbo's sword and his dog Daigoro and the pillars and stuff like that. And when the music of Yojimbo happens, it's Battle on the Big Bridge, which I know is also the Gilgamesh song. And yet, even though, and going back on it, there were clues that Yojimbo was Greg.
That was my favorite moment in this
when we got to the trial and Yojimbo vanishes and then he says, for Yojimbo, it's Gilgamesh time. What the fuck?
Did either of you ever do the optional dungeon where he's a boss in there?
Yes.
No.
I did. For sure. And that's why when he was like, you already beat me up. You beat me up a second time or third time or whatever. I was like, yeah. And he also has like some like enmity towards you when you just show up at the dinner scene. He's like, you. So like, but like that, I thought that was because I had beaten him up in a dungeon.
I think I feel bad because it was really, really obvious. It's almost like Brandon, how you felt it was so obvious that, like, oh yeah, killing Zodiark isn't going to stop the final days. It was really obvious that Yojimbo was Gilgamesh, and yet I didn't see it until it happened. And when it happened, I was like, what the fuck? And then after it was over, I'm like, man, I'm a fucking moron, aren't I?
You're not, because
alike. Like they have a completely different body type, which obviously they have like crazy ass models that are not like anything else in the game. So we probably shouldn't have put that much stock in that. But like, yeah.
Also, everyone involved in the Hildibrand quest is an Eldritch abomination. So, like, I fought Yojimbo in that optional dungeon at least a couple of times before I did the quest, and I thought it was just like, oh, he's just an homage to the Yojimbo from Final Fantasy. I think it was 10 where he shows up. I can't remember.
Yes.
So I just figured, oh, okay, well, he's just going to show up here because they want to do more with this character. And where else are you going to do more with this swordsman that looks like that but the Hildibrand quests? And then he goes, and for Yojimbo, it is Gilgameshing time. And I'm like, you have got to be fucking kidding me right now. We're fighting Gilgamesh again. Okay, here we go. Oh, dear God, this trial's actually hard.
Yeah. I actually had to, like, queue up and do it with a group at, like, 3 a.m.
I died on it at least 2 times when I did it the first time with a random group. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
We literally ended up with, like, the 2 tanks and, like, 1 dancer alive. And they killed it, like, the last 10%. But, like, everybody else just ate shit. Because it's the circle thingies, man. Nobody can figure out what the hell we're supposed to do. Like, are we supposed to stack up with that? Are we supposed to spread out? I don't know.
Oh, the donut AoEs, right?
Well, it's like, it starts as it looks like it's just a regular AoE, and then it turns into a donut. So everybody, like, spreads out enough to not hit each other with the AoE, and then we're in perfect range to snipe each other with the donuts.
Yep.
And, like, all of the free space is covered by the other donuts. Mm-hmm. It's deadly.
It was a clusterfuck.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have no idea what the fuck you're supposed to do. I'm never going back.
I had to do it 4 times. Fortunately, only 4 times to get the card. Which in retrospect should have told me that Yojimbo was Gilgamesh, because the card is Stormblood Gilgamesh. But I still didn't make the connection until I saw it happen in the fight.
Well, he, like, literally tells you afterwards. He's like, oh, let me explain what I've been doing.
That scene was hilarious.
I really thought he ate and can do. I was like, how dare you? And then he just shows up at the end. He's like, oh, what did I eat? I'm like, what did you eat?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, he got sucked into the void at the end of the Stormblood arc along with everybody else. So, how many patches you give him before he shows up again?
Well,
I mean, he could show up in Endwalker.
When I saw the end of the Stormblood quest and, like, them getting sucked into the void, and everybody was like, how did Hildibrand end up in the first? I'm like, well, he just got sucked into the space between spaces. I mean, I don't think it's that hard to go from there.
Hang on. I can't let this go. Did anybody else besides me just hear her say storm butt?
I mean,
I didn't, but sure.
Storm butt. Storm blot.
Storm butt. It's a reference to Xeno's fake ass.
There we go.
A storm of butts. Just one, but it's very big.
I mean, he does have two katanas named the Storm and the Swell.
Oh, oh my!
Compensating
Xeno.
For something, huh?
Oh Lord!
Oh Jesus!
And he was not satisfied with those weapons. Oh my God! I really liked Xenos in Stormblood. I've been watching. Who's the one? Oh, the one that does the not the Mad Because Small, but the other Lalafell who did the Black Mage Guide.
Pint.
I've been watching Pint's Let's Plays. Like, I'm way behind, so I'm just like watching some of them and watching him go through Stormblood again. I'm like, oh yeah, Xenos in Stormblood was like really animated and really excited, and I'm like, oh, I forgot this side of him, because by the time we get to Endwalker, he is a depressed bitch.
He's missing his best friend.
He just looks so bored and so like.
What is life without my best friend to murder?
I mean, come on, guys. Regardless of what a psychopath we all are or not, you hang around with Van Daniel that much, you're going to be a depressed bitch too.
That's true.
Asahi in any form is still Asahi.
Yeah.
Asahi with a freaking Kafkaasian inside him is even worse.
Yep. Xenos is like, I refuse to get in this clown car. Good Lord. Yeah, oh my God. So, wait, we were talking about Hildibrand.
Yeah, we more or less were wrapping up Stormblood stuff and about to dive into Shadowbringers. Oh, wait, Endwalker.
He does show up in Shadowbringers, albeit briefly.
Oh my God. Well, okay, so I find his lifeless body, and the second I'm looking at it, it's like, oh, he's cold, and he seems to be sleeping. I'm like, oh no. It seems like the condition that the Scions' bodies were in while their souls were in the first. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll be right back, Ashu. And go out to the Manderville in the woods to summon him. Oh my God, but the entire time that I was on the first and we were like running through the Crystarium, I'm like hiding my face, like, don't let Rin see me with this weirdo. Please.
Yes.
Nobody important, please.
The Manderville Sin Eater, though.
The Gentleman of... he didn't call it the Gentleman of Light, did he? It was like the Forgiven Gentleman.
Yeah, the Forgiven Gentleman, yep.
That sounds...
Oh, and that he had
I can't dispute it.
When he appeared, he also had this whole boss thing, like you were fighting a boss in Endwalker. Yes. It's like, it was great. Oh,
that amazing Endwalker boss theme music. I still love that shit. That was a pop.
Yes, it was.
And him getting like shoved into the cliff and then shaking his fucking ass at that Sin Eater. That was when I was like, this animation's too good. This is like, this is freaking me out. I don't like this at all. And then it was like triple or quadruple or whatever when it was like all of the legs doing it at the same time. I was like, what the fuck? And the guy was like, what nightmare is this? I'm like, dude.
You have no goddamn idea, and I hope to God you never do.
Oh, Lord. But,
does anyone feel like we're in an alternate reality right now? There's like a line like that during the Stormblood quest lines where it's like, I feel like I'm in an alternate reality now.
I feel like I've escaped to an alternate dimension where the laws of physics don't exist.
Yeah. They're like where logic has just ceased to be. It's like, yep, that's where we are right now. It's like, I do think that the like Warrior of Light's progression going through these quests, like I think like by mid Stormblood, they're just like, yep, that's just
we're par for the course.
We're in Hildibrand logic now, baby.
Yeah. my warrior of light would give these looks. It was just like, yeah, man, I don't know. It's just Hildibrand, man. I'm just play with it. Play along.
I actually had a chance to write a short snippet for Write 2022 that kind of briefly went over how all 4 of my characters, my quote-unquote canon ones, react to Hildibrand Manderville showing up. One of them is basically like, the second he shows up, he just says, nope, and runs away. But speaking of people's interactions with Hildibrand, Beck Lug is a freaking mood. I actually took some screenshots of his quotes and put them on my Tumblr just because they made me laugh so hard. And I want to read some of them for you.
Oh, why?
I get the distinct impression that the gods themselves could not kill him if they tried. And they have. The second one. Come along then, Hildy. I can't be bothered to remember that name. and the last one. The rest of you can wait here. I promise I won't hurt him, no matter how much I might be tempted.
Is it Beckluke just basically all of us?
Yes. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Sorry. Please help me get him out of your hair.
And Meagan, Meagan, I just have to ask, aren't you glad that Hildy didn't run into Reed and Gaia?
Oh my god, I'm so glad. I did not want to have to explain to them who the fuck this was, what he was doing. Not that I think he would do anything weird to Reed or Gaia, just like his very presence. I would be like, look, this is not what the source is like, all right?
Do not put our lesbian daughters in danger, or I will kill you.
They would absolutely not be in danger. They would just be weirded out. And that's too much for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Mm-mm. No. It's funny. It's like, as much as Hildibrand is like a creepy weirdo, he's not that kind of creepy weirdo. Like, he never creeps on anyone. He never, like, he will be like, hello, fair maiden, but he won't, like, creep on them or hit on them or make them, like,
no, that's the Lalafell's job, right?
Yeah, fuck that guy. Ah!
I mean, of course he won't. He's a gentleman of light.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I'm like, a true gentleman, which, now I'm running around in the full Manderville outfit.
Yeah, I saw the screenshot. He looks nice.
I did that for the entire quest line. I was like, you know what? I'm all in.
So then we finally kind of come full circle to there was an adventure on the first, and then the little escapades on the moons and the army of Mandervilles.
Wait, before that. So we get we give the soul crystal to Nashu, and she's like, yeah, but Manderville's been getting, or Hildibrand's is gone, and like somebody threw him in a sack and carted him off. So we have to chase him down, and the entire time we're chasing him down, the little fucking creeper is like hiding behind walls and shit, and he's also like peeking in the window of the house. Where I'm like, I hate him so much. And then,
and Dr. Luge shows up in his cyborg robot body. Yep.
Oh my god. That whole,
it's not over with that guy.
No, it's not.
I really thought that he was going to ride the missile all the way to the moon. But no.
I think everyone did.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You can never, like, the second you think you know where it's going, you do not know where it's going.
I mean, isn't that true of 14 in general?
Indeed. But the fact that Nashi was like, I hope that your special friend who gave you the soul crystal doesn't think it's weird that you put Hildibrand in it. And I'm like, I didn't before. But now. Get out of the crystal, Hildibrand. And then later she's like, don't worry, I cleaned it.
Wasn't that the same crystal that had Graha's soul in it?
Yep.
Yes, it is.
So, at that point, you could just tell Nashu, hey, I already put one annoying dude in there. What's one more?
Oh, my God. No, they tainted my... I'm like, oh, God, I tainted my special boy crystal. We all...
And I'm out. Good night, everybody.
I could never use this again. What was I using it for? That's classified.
Lines taken out of context. I tainted my special boy crystal.
Oh my god. I have any more Graha dad jokes? I feel like I need to end the show with one now.
Well, when Poo Poo showed up in his UFO to kidnap Hildibrand, the fucking creeper got sucked up in there too. I don't know if you saw, but
I missed that.
Yeah, the creepy little Lalafell gets sucked. Like, it's a bunch of like dodos and like pots and stuff, but also the creepy little boy.
Yep.
Oh wow.
and then later when you're on the moon and you're looking for the any signs of anything weird when you're doing the first person perspective, he's being dangled from below the spaceship.
Oh, I do not remember that.
And so I was like, and then you never see him again. So I think he's still in Poo Poo's spaceship, or they dumped him on the moon, or I hope they dumped him on the moon.
Could that be Poo Poo's friend?
God.
Oh, Jesus.
Ugh.
Oh, no.
I hope not. I don't want anything cool for him. I don't like him.
He's the final boss of the Hildibrand questline.
Oh, God. Which is, every time that there was like one of the closing credits in the Stormblood and everybody's dancing and he's like creeping in the background with his goddamn spyglass. What are you using that fucking spyglass for? She's right in front of you. What do you gotta see the like pores on her skin? What are you doing? Stop. Get help. Ugh. No, don't get help. Just go die in a pit. Apparently you smell like cheese. Let's just throw you in front of some lions or something.
The only real part that's left after that, even though that part of the questing is over, is it's tangential. I mean, it's important because everyone needed to do the Hildibrand quest lines up to that point in order to get a start on their relic weapons. So I've just got to say how freaking surprised I was by how cool the Manderville weapons look in stage 1. Even like they look really impressive for a weapon that doesn't have a glow effect.
True. Yeah, but they kind of had to. Like,
yeah.
The whole point is that he does fancy gold designs.
I mean, this is Godbert Manderville and Geralt's teaming up.
Yeah.
I would hope they look that cool.
The sweat scene, though.
Oh,
the squats charging up the energy for a single drop of sweat to change that oil.
I was like, is the actual like relic item quest going to be as goofy as the rest of it? And it, like, for a little bit, it didn't seem like it was going to be. And then I was like, oh, nope, there it is. When he's like, my God, it's full of stars. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
I haven't collected the tombstones to get it yet. I haven't seen any of this. Because it's supposed to be poetics. Why would you make it harder again? That was one of the best parts of Shadowbringers. Sorry, I'm going to be angry about this for quite a while.
It's okay.
It's only 1,500.
Yeah, I had been capped for a while. I also spent a lot of time doing PvP this week because I realized the season's going to be ending soon.
I think that's why they did astronomy too, because I think they probably had an expectation that a lot of people are generally capped on astronomy around now anyhow.
Oh, yeah, Ward had actually cleared out all of his astronomy right before the patch dropped.
Oh!
And I was
like... I tended to spend astronomy as soon as I got it because I don't normally farm tombstones that much at all. I just kind of inconsequentially get them as I do other stuff. I'm like, oh, I have enough to buy a thing. Oh, well, what job needs it? And I've never bothered to try and cap them. Conversely, I had 2,000 poetics saved up because I was absolutely expecting it to work just like Shadowbringers did. I'm like, sweet, I'm going to get 2 or 3 weapons right off the bat. Ha 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 ha. No.
Nope. And they're dyeable.
That is really cool.
The book, the Summoner book being dyeable is outstanding because when you dye that book Dalamud red, man, Alexander looks good with that book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't dyed mine yet because I have a full Manderville outfit going on. But I like it. I like it a lot. It's very shiny. Well, it's not actually shiny, but it's very golden. Mm-hmm. But like only golden. Like that was the other thing I thought it might be, just like purely gold. But no, it's like layered different colors. It's very nice. It's very nice. I'm looking at a picture of it now. I like it's like a little Bahamut on one side, and is it 2 Bahamuts? I don't know. It looks very cool and very detailed, and I hope nobody wants me to draw it.
You know what's ironic about all this, Meagan? Several weeks ago, you and I were behind on the Manderville quest, while Brandon had already done it all once. We are now at a point where technically we're ahead of him.
Yeah, man. I've seen Godbert in his undies one more time than you have.
You've seen Godbert sweat and the power it has.
God, the fact that it goes into making our weapon, I'm like,
You guys do remember that aside from the 3 dots on the forehead, my main character is a Godbert clone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen myself in that same underwear more times than I care to count every time I preview something in the dressing room.
Apparently getting naked is part of the Manderville goldsmithing process, because his assistant that he's trained also is naked.
Yeah, when you want to get additional weapons after your first one, the NPC that sells them is also naked.
Yeah, because he's like, I've taught him how to do this first step in the process. I'm like, oh God, is it his sweat?
It's just not the same.
Oh,
no.
Lord.
Good Lord. Oh my God. I'm just like, ugh.
I think I need to go join a Hunt Train Discord and just start collecting astronomy at this point.
I think it's, if you do like an expert every day, the first one is a lot. And if you get, I think, like 10 per PvP match. No, it's more than that. I got a shit ton doing PvP. Because I actually ended up capping the big one, the green one. I don't remember what they're called. Doing PvP.
Causality.
Is that it? Yeah. There you go. I think
so, yeah.
Well, you can also get astronomy by doing the new variant dungeon.
Oh, yeah. That shit's really fun. I did, me and Ward were doing it together. I really enjoy it. I love hanging out with Nanamo. She's so cute. And
Nanamo's great.
All the little hijinks that happen. And like that, all the branching paths and stuff. And we ended up finding her like parents' special picnic spot, which was super cute.
Oh, okay. I have to ask. All of you've done it at least once, right?
We've done it.
I did it. I tried to solo it my first time, died on the first boss twice, gave up, and queued up for it with a random group.
Okay.
I think we completed a run of the left side before.
We did all three paths.
My question, though, is the very first time you did the dungeon, did you follow Nanamo's suggestion, or did you say, F that, we're going my way?
I followed Nanamo.
Did you follow, Brandon?
When I tried to solo it, I did. When I did it with a group, we did not.
Okay. I went to the left path when Nanamo chose the central path my first time.
We followed Nanamo the first 3 times because she always picked a different door when we went back, and we just wanted to see all of the different.
Yeah, the first time I did it, she suggested the left path, and I went with it. After I failed and went in with a group, she suggested the central one, and one person in my group picked the left one for us. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Here's the thing I'm wondering. I mean, it would require some research and science, but I wonder if, and at the beginning it'd be hard to really determine, but I wonder if Nanamo chooses one based on what endings people have left to get. Like, she'll go toward the door where there's a possibility for more people to find endings they haven't achieved yet.
That could be. I don't know.
I have no idea. I think it might just be random. Yeah. Ward found a Reddit post that has like how to open up all the paths.
Oh, I've seen it as well. And the 12th ending apparently has a boss all to itself that you don't see in any of the other 11 endings. And that boss has a triple triad card, so obviously I need to do it.
Well, me and Ward have been just doing it together, which is funny because I'm doing it as summoner, he's doing it as dragoon, and so I didn't have to take a res button, but like he did, so he doesn't have whatever the tank one, the like damage reduction.
The rampart.
Yeah, so I'm like in there trying to tank as a summoner, like
Summoner is OP in their solo if you go with Rampart and Cure, because you've got you have Carby shields to absorb damage, you have Rampart, and then you have Cure to cure yourself, and Phoenix gives you some curing. So it's like, Summoner is a great soloer for that thing.
Yeah. It's just been fun doing it with just me and Ward because, we have like raiding experience and stuff. So all the boss mechanics we're like somewhat familiar with. And it's also just really fun to like run in on a boss that you've never done before and like figure it out as you go.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I hear Savage Ass is pretty intense.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to Savage Ass, that's for sure. So I've seen
if you look at Party Finder, and there are people doing progression on Savage Ass.
Yeah, man. It's rough. I remember I saw a meme of like, who do you think would be more difficult to kill? It's like the primal carbuncle or like the hamster. And they're like, it's the hamster.
So I do have a question, since you guys have done this more than once. Is the final boss in each wing different, or is it always the hamster?
No, it's different.
No, the door will basically determine who your final boss is going to be, except that if you choose the right door, there is 2 possible bosses it could be. But the left door has the hamster, the middle door has something else, and the third door has 2 possibilities.
Okay. Yeah. I figured that was probably the case. But given that the hamster is apparently a mount you get for, is it
doing
all
12
endings? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was wondering, it's like, oh, okay, does she show up regardless of where you go? Like I said, I've only done it successfully once because I tried to solo it as machinist. Don't do that. I'm about to try and do some different endings.
I feel like any DPS with Cure and Rampart should be okay, though. No.
I felt like I was basically like dancing forever on the very first boss of the left wing as a machinist, and until finally I just got so tired of waiting for this thing to die that I slipped up and got too many vuln stacks.
And Summoner is pretty mobile with DPS, so I guess that's a good point, yeah.
Well, I mean, so is Machinist. It's just, I guess the joke's about it being bottom tier on the damage meters, have finally caught up to me to the point where I actually care.
Well, no matter how many people you go in with, those things have a lot of HP. They're beefy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would also say Machinist doesn't have great AoE. No, I guess it does. Well, it does in like really small bursts. But
it does have pretty good AoE. I mean, you got your dot, you got a couple of burst abilities. Definitely, I definitely wouldn't try to flamethrower or anything in there. That's for sure.
I think that going from Machinist back to Summoner, I'm just like, oh, you could just AoE constantly. Like, there's no like AoE section or like AoE build up to AoE. It's like constantly.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to keep trying to do it in group until I get to like the point where I only have like, 1 or 3 notes left to get. And then I'll be like, all right, time to put a party finder listing up.
Well, we can do it together for sure.
Or that. Yeah. We could definitely. I could definitely be down for that.
In
fact, weren't we supposed to on Saturday, Ro?
We were, and then I got distracted by other stuff. But we will definitely make a point to do that together, and I will be happy to have Cure equipped, and if we're all DPS, I'll still be the healer and heal you guys. I ran with 2 other DPS a couple times yesterday, and I ended up basically being the main healer because they were not great on mechanics.
I will say that if you go with someone else, you can get raised, which is nice.
Yes.
I would offer to tank, except I realized that my tank jobs are the ones that are still below the minimum item level threshold for the variant dungeon. It's like, oh, hey, look what I haven't bothered to upgrade the gear of at all. Oops.
So, with that said, we are pretty much at time here. You thought we were going to talk about Omnicron Quest. I guess it's going to have to wait for next week, but that's fine because we had a lot of Hildibrand stuff to talk about.
We did.
I do want to give a quick update, though, that because Brandon was expecting it. I am now down to 8 cards left to get the triple triad mount.
Oh, shit.
Who are they? Name them. Who's got them?
Oh, they are Seiryu, Emerald Weapon, Diamond Weapon, Eden's Promise, the Lunar Bahamut in the Pagothan Dungeon, and the 3 Bajja cards.
Okay.
Oh, that's not that bad.
You got some trials to do.
Yeah,
Yep.
like me and Ward did the giant robots when they were current.
Yeah.
I love the weapons so much.
Eden's Promise is going to be the biggest stumbling block there.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to Emerald and Diamond Weapon, I really didn't want to have to get those cards by doing it on Extreme, but the fact of the matter is people put up Extreme Emerald and Diamond in Party Finder all the time because people are going for the Gwibs. So I might as well just suck it up and learn how to do Extreme Unsynced and just do it that way to try to get those cards. Eden's Promise is just a chore because even going through it unsynced, it's 5 to 6 minutes a run. It's a grind, and it is what it is.
But you're real close.
I'm close. I mean, there is a outside chance that I could get them out before the next episode. I don't think it's likely, but there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I am literally saying there's a chance, but we'll just have to find that out in a couple weeks. Until then, Meagan, where can people find you on the internets?
My Twitter, which is @CatMomMeagan. There you can find a link to my webtoon, my Tumblr, and just a ton of pictures of Butterscotch, my cat, and a bunch of random ass nonsense and screenshots and memes.
Excellent. Brandon, how about you?
Twitter.com/TheBeamat. There you can find links to everything I've got going on and a bunch of gecko pictures because I have a gecko. I don't know if I've said that before.
Oh, yeah, she's really cute. I love her.
I was pondering using that in your intro that today, and you just decided you'll wait. You'll post more pictures.
It's true, I will. She's super cute and likes climbing on the side of the wall. Don't ask me why. Geckos are weird. You can also catch me on +5 to Hit, a D&D podcast where Ro will soon be once again assuming the DM's chair as he sends us back into the frigid wastes of Icewind Dale.
Question about your gecko. Has your gecko ever saved you 15% on your car insurance?
Oh my god.
No, she has not, and I am angry about it.
Okay.
She's not that kind of gecko.
She's also not that kind of gecko, so maybe that's good.
She's a frilled gecko.
She's a what?
Frilled gecko?
A crested gecko.
Crested gecko, that's right. She looks like she has eyelashes. Very
She
cute.
does, and they're freaking adorable. Although she can't actually blink. Did you know that?
She can't?
No, geckos don't have eyelids.
Oh my god.
Now she has to lick her eyes to moisten them.
Oh, that's why they do that. Oh my god. Well, I have a gecko-based character in my webtoon. I'll have to consider that.
Nice.
Oh, man. Folks, you can find me on Twitter @PodcastRow. You can find this show on Twitter at A Podcast Reborn. And you can email us at apodcastreborn@gmail.com. We are a part of Bonus Roll Productions. You can check more of us out at bonusroll.gg. Check out the podcast directory there. Leave a review for us. Let us know how we're doing, how you like the show, any comments or suggestions you have. What anime should Brandon and I watch next that we should critique? Put it all up there. But that will pretty much do it. The theme for our show is Alex Moukala's Imagine Boss theme for Endwalker. Do check out his YouTube channel for more great music. A link to it can be found in the notes for this podcast. And any Final Fantasy 14 music here on the show belongs to Square Enix. No copyright infringement is intended. For Meagan, for Brandon, for Ward, for Highness Butterscotch, and everyone else that has been on this show. Till next time, may your loot rolls be high, your glamour fantastic, and your duties always complete. Brandon?
Did you guys hear that Square Enix put out the results of a survey they did that kind of correlates where people live and what kind of jobs people make? Weirdly enough, it turns out a majority of red mages are found in Vermont.
You summon cheese.
Sometimes they're just cheesy. What can I say?